All right, so today we're going to try to find some water. I consider water to be one of the 4 pillars of bushcrafting. So you have food, water, fire, and shelter. So you definitely want to figure out how to get water from your environment and how to purify that water. And what I want to do is I'm actually going to come down here over the ridge over here. I haven't been there in a long time. I want to go down there and see if there's still a little stream. I don't know, it's the warmest part of the year. Our summers are really short up here. I'm up here at about 9,000 feet up here in the mountains of Colorado. All right, so this is a pretty steep embankment over here. So we'll go down here and see what we can see. Another thing I want to look for, in addition to mushrooms, since it's mushroom season, I also want to find some pine pitch. Kind of continue what we started in the last video. We were looking for pine pitch, so I'm not really die-hard looking for the pine pitch, so we can do some different things, but you have to kind of watch for predators up here. The funny thing is every now and then I can hear the water kind of sloshing around in my canteen, and it kind of sounds like something behind me because my canteen's right behind me. Kind of freaks me out. But I'm getting used to that. I got a different canteen. It actually goes better with my pack. It's a metal canteen, so the water sounds a little bit different in it. So essentially what I do for water is I actually have 2 different packs, 2 different water bottles. One's a canteen. It actually is a pack because it's like a pack with a canteen. It's like a military canteen. And then my other one is like I consider it more of a gray canteen, where you can actually go up to a stream, collect some water. But in that canteen, you don't want to drink that water. You can use it for washing up, or like putting out a fire or something like that if you had a small fire. I was actually looking at this. Take a look at this. We got some, looks like some pretty good pine pitch. All right, so I'm gonna collect a little pine pitch just because I can, and I need some for my next video. All right, let's see if I can get this tripod set here. And it's really easy to collect. I usually keep a bandana in my pocket. You do not want to collect it into a bandana. We found that out last time. But I do have my pine pitch bag. I cleaned up my knife, so we are ready to go. Looks like a weird kind of a bark here. Yeah, maybe we can collect some stuff along the way. We'll see. We'll see what other goodies we can collect. This stuff is always useful as a glue or a fire starter. That's kind of interesting. It almost seems like, oh, I just got a big chunk of bark. Now this one, it almost seems like the sap is running into the wood, making some really good fat wood in here, which is interesting. Yeah, we came out for water, and now we're collecting pine sap. Pine pitch. All right, that was an easy score right there. Wow, got a bunch up here. Look at all this. It's always worthwhile collecting this stuff. Let's see what we can get here. So today I actually brought multiple baggies so we can collect different mushrooms and pine pitch. I don't know if we're going to be able to collect any water. We'll see how the water situation is down there. I was hoping to set up like a little bushcraft base camp up here, but oh, that goes way up. There's a lot of pitch way up there. But I am not that diehard. So take a look at that. That's pretty good. Got a little bit of pine pitch. I actually packed several baggies this time. It seems like the baggies are the easiest to carry stuff around in. All right, so that was a pretty good score. We may end up with a whole bag of pine pitch and maybe a few bags of mushrooms, which would be kind of nice. So this is really steep coming down here. Easy to come down, but hard to get up, especially at altitude up here at 9,000 feet. And it gets really super thick in here. So over up in this area, see how kind of sparse it is? The further down you get in this pit down here, it's gonna get super thick. I was actually down here once before, and usually the water runs pretty good through this little creek down here, but I don't know if it's seasonal, so we'll see. We'll see if this is a seasonal creek or not. So if you set up camp and you're bushcrafting, you definitely want to camp out by a water source. But kind of the funny thing is a lot of the predators will hang around the water source. So personally, I wouldn't be right by the water, because you might have a better chance of actually running into like a bear going down to take a drink or something. So probably what I would do, I would probably camp like a walking distance, like maybe a quarter mile from a water source, so you're not like right on top of it. That's kind of where I'm at right here. Up on the top, if I made a base camp up there, I'd say we're about a quarter mile from the water down here. It is getting thick. This is kind of an unusual time of the year up here in Colorado. It's warm. Usually it's always snowing. And it's been raining every day, which is really unusual too. Usually we don't get that much rain. All right, let's see here. Going down deep in the woods. Wow. I don't even know if I can make it through. Take a look at that. That's like, oh, I think I can get through here. Let's see. Got some branches in the way. Almost need to break out my axe and start cutting through this. I guess we can get through. I do carry a little axe and a saw. Axe and a saw and a knife, it's kind of like the trio of bushcrafting. But what's funny is, it seems like a lot of people are getting away from the three main tools of bushcrafting. And people try to kind of justify like carrying a big knife to replace everything else, which is interesting. All right, let me see if I can get through here. It's all mossy down here. There's a lot of moss on the ground, which is interesting. Look at that. Trying to maneuver through here. I guess it's not too bad. A lot of little blue spruce down here. Oh, we got some little tiny mushrooms. We call those LBMs, little brown mushrooms. So I noticed on my last video, which was the first video on my channel, seemed like my mic really picked up the sound really good. I have a lapel mic, so that was good. I was kind of wondering how the audio and the video would come out, but it seems like it came out pretty good. Take a look at this. This is really interesting. Speaking of bushcrafting, that's kind of an interesting kind of a setup right there, huh? It's like someone tried to make a little shelter. Of course, to finish off the shelter, you'd have to, I don't even know if you could lay a tarp on there the way it is. You'd have to like cut some pine boughs or something, some pine branches, and kind of waterproof it. Kind of a rinky-dink shelter put together. It's kind of cool though. I saw it the last time I was down here. That's pretty neat. The thing that always kind of freaks me out about these shelters, I'm always afraid that they would collapse on you. Of course, all this wood, oh, this one's pretty heavy. So if that main, I would, you know, if I was to make a shelter like this, I would actually take that main branch right there and make it really huge, like a big log, and then have really small stuff on here. But it looks like it was made without tools, just kind of thrown together. Otherwise, it'd be a little bit more finished. You'd have some finished poles there that were, I know a lot of people do that and then they'll throw a tarp over it to make it waterproof. Kind of cheating with the tarp. But it seems like that's how most people kind of bushcraft anymore. They have, you know, tarps and gas stoves. They cheat a lot. All right, let's see where we're at. It looks like we're doing pretty good. It's really super thick. Look at how thick the trees are in here. It's funny, some areas are really super thick to where you can't even get through them. And then some areas are pretty open. All right, so we're actually here. This is it. I don't know if there's water down here. I don't know about the water. Oh, there is water. So take a look at that. Just a little trickle. Wow. I don't even think it's enough of a stream to where I could get my canteen down in there. Let's see here. So I actually have wow, this is like, yeah. I don't know about this water. This is maybe enough for a dog to take a drink. I don't even know if a dog could drink out of this. So take a look at that. Wow. So, all right, so you think we can drink it? It looks really clean. It's just a little tiny trickle. But I couldn't even fill my canteen in there. Let's go down a little bit. Let's see if we can find something a little bit deeper, like a little pool. And look, it opens up back here into a big open area, which is kind of interesting. I think once you get near water, a lot of the trees kind of grow really close together. Boy, look at that. It kind of goes down into a like a dip down in here. Almost goes underground right here. That's pretty wild. Yeah, usually it's like a little bit higher to where I was thinking you could catch some fish or some minnows in here when it's high, but yeah, at this point, I don't think we'll be catching any fish in there. Might catch a frog. I don't know if there's frogs up here though. It's just one little trickle all the way down. The other thing that's kind of cool about a water source like this is, especially during the mushroom season, you'll have a lot of mushrooms growing right up against the water. I think it's still a little too early for the majority of the mushrooms. I think we're still a few weeks out before the mushroom season. Whoa. Definitely need some good boots up here. All right, so I'm not seeing much more than just a little trickle, kind of following this little water source down here. It kind of disappears. So I could use this for water. I think what I want to do is take a look at this right here. So my idea was to take a canteen and slowly fill it. And I actually have a flat canteen. It's a half-gallon flat metal one. It's kind of like a big whiskey flask is what it is. But if I could get it down in there, I could fill it with water, bring it back to camp, and then we could boil it from that canteen and then put it in my drinking water canteen. So that's kind of the idea behind that. But this is too shallow. So what I'm gonna do, I actually have a little trowel, a little plastic trowel. So I'm gonna try to dig this out a little bit. So here's one edible plant, one of the few that I know. Dandelions, yes. So if you come down here looking for a salad, you can come down here. It looks like we have some dandelions. All right. So dandelions it's actually one of the easiest to identify, and the whole plant is completely edible. So what I want to do, kind of have to watch down here because of the predators. It's funny, anymore I don't really watch for predators. I mainly listen for predators. It's, normally you can hear them far before you'll actually see them. So I actually have just a cheap little garden shovel here in my pack. It's always good to carry some kind of a shovel. I was thinking of kind of upgrading to, upgrading to like a metal shovel. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna see if I can. So obviously this is gonna stir up the water a lot. This is pretty, pretty murky here that I'm making this water. So the idea is just to have a little depression here to where I can fill up my canteen. Oh, look at that. It's like old dead algae from the winter. Oh, yeah. But this water looks really clean. Just running over it. So this is like, another thing you could do, instead of doing this, I could dam it up right here. If I could bring some rocks, make a little dam, that might be even better than digging down. Or maybe I'll dig down right here, and then I'll bring some rocks, and we'll kind of dam it up a little bit, like right here. That would be ideal. I don't really see any rocks down here. But if you're kind of making a base camp, that's kind of some of the things you can do. So even just that little bit, looks like it dammed it up a little bit. Oh, I got mud all over me now. So yeah, so this would be like my little water spot right here where I can get water. I think that'll work pretty good. But finding rocks down here, yeah, good luck. I don't think you'll find anything. down here. Wow, there's a big mushroom over there. Take a look at that. All right, so I'm getting distracted. I want to check out this big mushroom over here. It's huge. Take a look at this one. And kind of the bummer about mushrooms is that I don't know them all. Look at that one. I wish I knew this one, because it's a big one. It smells like a mushroom. Beautiful. Look at that. Pretty awesome. But the funny thing is, around here you get a lot of times the bugs. Look at that. It's completely eaten by bugs before you actually get it. And look at that in the top. They're like little fly maggots. Eat the whole thing by the time they get this big. But I don't know what that one is. And with mushrooms, you definitely want to know them to species before you eat them. But even if that was a good one, yeah, I wouldn't eat it. I don't see any rocks to where we could. This is interesting. Got a little deer bone down there. That's what kind of makes me nervous. You come down here and the only thing that's down here is bones, leftovers of animals that have been eaten coming down here. But usually you don't have to worry about it in the daytime. Usually it's only in the nighttime that the predators come out. So usually all your deer and everything, they will they'll sleep at night. That's why the predators come out at night, because they get the deer sleeping. It's like easy hunting. But in the daytime, it's fairly safe, I'd say. The other thing is most people bushcraft by themselves. Oh, look at that. Ah, my strap came off. All right. So another thing about these straps on your packs, I don't know if you've had this problem before, but what I like to do is I like to bring them up to the sewing machine, kind of fold them over, and then sew them so they don't come out. You can do that. It's kind of like a one-time deal. Kind of sew them to your pack. You definitely don't want to lose your straps. That's the big thing in these packs. I suppose if you were a true bushcraft style, you could make a pack out of animal hide. And then you wouldn't have the modern society's version of a animal hide pack. All right, so that was pretty good. So maybe next time we'll bring a rock or two down. We'll start building up a little dam. I don't see any rocks down here. I think you get so much natural plant material from all the dead trees and everything that it eventually just covers up all the rocks. Wow, I think these are the biggest blue spruce trees I've ever seen in my life. They're huge. It's pretty amazing. All right, so that's my water source. Kind of not really looking very good. Usually most of that water is from the snow runoff, and it's been so hot lately. And we're like in the middle of the summer, so there's not a lot of runoff actually. right, let's see if we can head back up, see if we can find anything else. Maybe some mushrooms or some pitch. So yeah, so the other thing with this water too is it's coming way down here. It's quite a hike to get water, and then to lug the water back up. This huge mountain here. This is like really steep coming down, really steep going back. Kind of an interesting little walk though. Not too bad. So I want to show you just kind of how steep it is here. So this is kind of horizontal here. The hard part is it's hard to really get an idea from even being here in real life. You know, you look at the camera, and if I kind of angle it up, it probably almost looks flat to you. And kind of the weird thing in the mountains too is sometimes it'll kind of trick you, because it's like all the trees are kind of leaning in one direction, and sometimes it doesn't look steep. Sometimes it looks like there's a hill, but it's almost flat. It's kind of weird. I've actually noticed that even driving up the mountain in my car, sometimes you'll see where it's kind of deceiving. It looks like it's a big hill, but yet it's pretty flat. And you'll notice that as, you know, how much you're actually pressing on the gas coming up the mountain. So this is interesting. It looks like something dug up a piece of moss and just kind of left it. Maybe I should look into uses for moss. There's a whole bunch just kind of sitting here up on the ground. It's pretty interesting. It's like something kind of dug it up. There's a whole bunch of them just kind of laying there. Most of it's kind of down into the ground, but looks like someone just came by and popped up the little moss balls, and they kept growing. They're on everything down here on the rocks. All right, let's see if we can find any more pine pitch. I haven't really been looking for the pine pitch for the next video. Want to melt some of that and make some different things. You can make glue or chewing gum, or like almost like a cement out of it. You can do a waterproofing. All right, we're coming back up in the thick of it here. The other cool thing about the mountains of Colorado, if you're bushcrafting, usually you don't have to worry about the bugs up here in the mountains. There's like almost no bugs. And you'll see kind of a few flying around towards the end of the summer. The summer's so short. And by the time the bugs start bugging you out here, it's snowing already, which is interesting. The other cool thing is, take a look at this. There's got to be a use for like this little, it's almost like an airy moss, which almost looks like it'd be a good fire starter. I might take this up and hit it with my fire stick. See if it'll light up, because there's quite a few just kind of little moss balls in the. That'd be kind of interesting. You know, I might bring one of these moss balls too, just because it's interesting. All right, now we're collecting stuff. Oh, let's see if I can get through here. Not too bad. I wonder if you could use this for, if this doesn't burn, I don't know, I bet it would burn though. I was thinking you could do like a lantern out of it. Not a whole lot of mushrooms in here. I heard something big. You know, there's something big around when you hear a branch break. Like you hear it's got to be heavy to break a branch. That's when you know something big is close. That's kind of what you want to listen for when you're walking around down here. That's kind of like the key. Something up that way. Stepped on a branch and it broke. And normally what I do is if I hear something like that, I just kind of avoid that direction, kind of go around it. Especially if you have like a bear with cubs or something like that. You really don't want to walk up on it. All right, so we're gonna head back up this way. Yeah, that's a big hill to haul water up. I don't know if I'd be wanting to haul like 5 gallons of water up that hill. Another thing we could look for is moose poop. So I saw quite a bit of it. I just didn't pick it up because it's everywhere. I can see some right there. Some old dried. This is like really old, dried and scattered. It's kind of like a little ball. And a lot of people will make a glue with, that is like 25% of the ingredient. Is, all right, so I got my moss. Look at that big old fly trying to bite me. Yeah, the horse flies kind of try to get you. But with my hat, that kind of distracts them. They land on my hat. So yeah, so we're actually, ooh, speaking of flies, that guy's starting to bite me. Normally with those though, you can just stop and kill them. All right. And normally when I'm going up a steep incline like this, I don't go straight up the hill. I'll kind of go around the hill. Now he's trying to bite me in the face. He's getting desperate. Wow, I think I got 2 of them around me. Oh, and a deer fly. All right. Pretty typical for up here in the summer. Don't really get a lot of mosquitoes. I think in the 20 years that I've lived up here, I've seen maybe 4 mosquitoes. So usually not a problem. You definitely get winded up here at 9,000 feet though. Gonna have to take a break. All right, so what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna take my fire starter, my glue product, and this big chunk of moss. And I wanna put it in another baggie, throw it in my pack. It's always good to collect little things as you're kind of going around, just see how you can use them. And a lot of times, even if you don't have a use for it, it's good to collect it if you think there's a potential use, especially as like a fire starter or some kind of kindling, something like that. All right, so there you have it. Ooh, I got bit, I'm getting bit, ooh. All right, I'm gonna have to stop and kill that big horsefly because he is after me. All right, so that's pretty much it. Going down for the water. And every time you're doing something out here in the woods, a lot of times you can kind of multitask and do multiple things You know, you can forage for mushrooms for food and do fire starting and kind of water everything all at the same time. Ooh, that guy's like getting me. Yeah, normally those horseflies, you can take them out pretty easily. Only takes a minute or two to take off your pack and kind of. All right, so here's my collection of little goodies here. You want a close-up of what I collected? Not that it's significant. Not really significant. There's so much stuff out here you can collect. And if you keep collecting it, before long, you'd have a whole pack of stuff you're carrying around. Especially if you hit a really good mushroom spot. I've seen people pull up and find a whole load of like 50 pounds of mushrooms. And suddenly your pack gets really heavy. That's kind of the crazy thing. All right, so that's pretty much it. Thanks for coming along. Checking out finding water. Definitely one of the bushcraft skills that you need to learn. You need to know how to purify it too. I'll actually do a future video on how to purify it. And we'll set up a little base camp around here. We'll do some fire making skills and stuff like that. All right, so that's pretty much it. Thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.